Hey everybody, this is Grant Hansen from XP Team USA, and today we're going to talk about this guy, the Mi6 Pin Pointer by XP Metal Detectors. When I say we, looks like I'm alone, right? No, we're going to go across the pond and ask Gary Blackwell some questions about the pin pointer, and he's going to give us an expert class all about the Mi6. So this is how it comes in the box, beautifully packaged, nice and sleek. Comes with a holster, also comes with a tether as well as instructions. Really simple to use, but it can be used as a standalone detector. So you don't need to have an XP metal detector to use one. However, if you do have an XP detector, you'll want to pair it. And that's the first thing you want to do is pair it with your remote or your headphones. So Gary, can you please walk us through that process?
Hi Grant, thanks for joining me. Yeah, there's certainly a lot to talk about regarding the Mi6 pin pointer. Although it's just a pin pointer, it's got lots of functions, there's lots going on behind the scenes. So let's get started and talk about the first thing, which is the pairing. Now you can pair the Mi6 pin pointer with your Deus RC, or if you're using the Deus Lite, you can pair it with the WS4s and WS5 headphones. So here's how to pair it with your RC. First of all, turn the machine on. Then press the options menu and scroll down until you see pinpointers. Once you've got to the pinpointers, press the select button, and now you'll see the welcome screen saying, switch on your Mi6 pin pointer while continuously holding the button down. So let's do that. So it's off at the moment, let's switch it on and hold it down, keep going until the screen changes. There you go, and it comes up pairing. You'll have a few audio sounds from the pin pointer as it's going through, and then you can let your finger off the Mi6 pin pointer and go back to your search menu. Now, to check it's paired, all you have to do is turn it on and look at your Deus controller, and you'll see the interface has now changed. You've got a screen and it's coming through your Deus audio, obviously. So what about the WS4 and WS5 Deus lights? How do we pair the Mi6 to these? Let me show you. You go into the menu and you search for coils. Press the menu button, disc sensitivity, keep going down until you reach coil. There you go, press the plus button until you see the words PP. Your pin pointer is off at the moment, so you've got PP there. Press and hold the plus button now until PP starts flashing. There it goes. Now press and hold your Mi6 pin pointer button in. Keep it in. You'll get a few noises or a few buzzes. And that's it. Now you are paired WS4, WS5 to the Mi6 pin pointer.
Thanks, Gary. That was great and very straightforward. Now, what if I wanted to unpair it? What would the steps be to do that?
All you have to do is go into the pin pointer menu again, press and hold the plus button until it starts flashing. There it goes, and press the menu button. And that's remove the pin pointer from the menu.
So with the Mi6, you can adjust settings and sounds just with this little button, but I sometimes get confused about the different settings on the Mi6. So Gary, is there an easy way to understand this?
It's not really that difficult, Grant. All you have to do is just follow a simple protocol. And this is the way I kind of explain it. You've got two sets of menus on the Mi6. You've got the hot menu and the cold menu. Now, I call it hot and cold because the cold menu is accessed with the probe switched off. The hot menu is accessed with the probe switched on. It really is as simple as that. Accessing the hot and cold menus is done when the probe is in standalone mode, so when it's not paired with your Deus. So the Deus is now switched off. I've got it in standalone mode. So first of all, let's go pitch or pulse. In the cold mode, Mi6 turned off, press and hold the button until you get a tone. Quickly press it once and it'll go to bleep mode. Okay, turn it off. press and hold it on, wait for the sound, press it once quickly, and now it's gone to the pitch mode. And that is how you change the modes. The same applies to the LED and vibrate, but as you saw with the pitch and pulse, we pressed it once. If you want the LED on or off, you press it, did it twice. If you want the vibrate on or off, you press it 3 times, did it, and then just let it revert to the search mode. Well, that's the cold mode settings done, Grant. Let's have a little talk about the hot mode. Now, the hot mode is with the probe already switched on. So we've got from 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and number 7 is the Deus connectivity mode. Let's start off by accessing the first 3 chimes on the probe using the hot mode. First of all, let's turn the probe on. We're in the hot mode, we're switched on, we're all running. Now, chimes 1 to 3 are the 3 different power levels of the Mi6. 1 is low power, 2 is medium power, 3 is high power. Let's just demonstrate how to access the 3 power modes. This is all with audio, LED, vibrate, whatever you want. So we're switched on, press and hold the button until you hear the noise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can hear it raising in pitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Then just let it go back to the factory restart. And it's working on power level 3. Now, if you're on mineralised ground, XP recommends you use the Mi6 on something like power level 1 or power level 2, but I show you a top tip at the end how to quickly use the Mi6 in mineralised ground. So that's power levels 1, 2, 3. Now 4, 5, 6 work in exactly the same way, but it switches the audio off, so you've got vibrate. So that's all it is. 4, 5, 6, 3 power levels, audio off. And of course, number 7, as I just said, that pairs the Mi6 with your XP Deus. So let's pair the Mi6 with the Deus using chime number 7. Turn it on, press and hold till you get the chime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, number 7 has paired it with the Deus.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So once the Mi6 is connected to your remote, you now have a separate screen that comes on when it's being used. Can you walk us through that screen and what everything means?
First of all, we've got sensitivity levels. We've got 50 of them. At this point, I'd say don't be tempted to turn the sensitivity right up because it'll give you no advantage. It'll probably just make your Mi6 unstable. Going down, we've got tone. Now we can change the tone of the pitch mode, low or high. The pulse mode doesn't have an adjustable tone. This is just the pitch mode. It goes from 120 megahertz to 1500 megahertz. So you've got a really wide scale of adjustments there. Go down one more. We've got the audio, which obviously is pitch or pulse mode, and you can just swap it there using the plus or the minus buttons on the screen. It's really, really simple. Let's go back to the detect screen, and as you see there at the top, it says program number 2. That's your default factory program for the Mi6, but there's also another 3 factory programs to choose from. I like to use my Mi6 straight out of the box. I don't like to make any adjustments to sensitivity. It all works pretty well. So when you've made some adjustments on your Mi6 within the menu, all you do is press save and it'll remember it next time. If you don't save it, it will revert back to the factory defaults every time. So just remember, programs 1 to 4 are adjustable, but don't forget to save them.
So what I love about the Mi6 is its sleek design, and it's just so durable. You can feel how durable it is. And I'm pretty rough on my pinpointers, to be honest, but just how durable is it? And, you know, it's also waterproof, and I know it could submerge up to 6 meters, but tell us some more about its durabilities and how much of the limits you can really push it.
Well, Grant, that's a good question. Let's treat the Mi6 as a sensitive piece of electrical equipment. We see people bashing it against rocks, trying to dig with it, all sorts. And you will have problems if you abuse a piece of electrical equipment. So I'd just say to everyone out there, just treat it with respect. It's not a hammer, it's a pinpoint probe.
All right, so I've been there. I think many of us have. We're digging a target, we go for a pinpointer, and it's not in the holster. And you start to freak out, right? You've dropped it somewhere in the field or in the forest, and you don't have it. Now you've got to spend half the day looking around for it. But with the MI6, you can retrieve it from your remote. But Gary, can you retrieve it from the off position as well if it has shut off? Tell us what that's about.
Absolutely. If you lose the MI6 and it's switched off, you can still use the research mode, because when you access the research mode, it automatically turns the MI6 on and gives an audible signal when the Deus is in range. So no, it doesn't have to be switched on to use a research mode, so don't worry about that. If you lose the MI6 and it's switched off, you can still find it. Brilliant. So okay, the XP Deus is switched on, the Mi6 pinpointer is switched off. So shouldn't really do this, but I'm going to throw the pinpointer. There you go. Now all I have to do now is go into the options, scroll down to pinpointers, and you'll see research mode there. Just press select, and you can hear it there in the distance. Can you hear it? Come on, let's go and get it. There you are, Grant. That's the Mi6 research mode in action.
Love the research mode. It's so comforting and kills any anxiety I have about losing equipment. Another cool thing about the Mi6 is it's got a super long battery life. I mean, so long that I have to remind myself to charge it just in case. So Gary, how long is the battery life, and how do you know if it's time to recharge?
Well, it depends on how many functions you have running on your Mi6 at once. But by far, the best way to get the best battery life out of your Mi6 is have it connected wirelessly to your Deus. You get about 90 hours use when connected wirelessly. If you have it as a standalone pinpointer, you can get as little as 12 hours. But don't forget, 12 hours actual usage is weeks or even months. As you can see, when connected to the Deus, you have got a battery monitor on the screen. But if you're using the Mi6 as a standalone, there's also a way of telling the batteries. When you turn the Mi6 on, the LED will flash 3 times if you've got 100% power. It will flash twice if you've got 60% power, and once if you've got about 30% power. So that's a good on-the-fly indication of how much battery life you've got on your Mi6. And it takes about 3 hours to charge from empty.
Thanks, Gary. Now I want to get back to something you mentioned at the beginning of the video of how to adjust your Mi6 to soil that's high in mineralization. How can you adjust those settings so you get the maximum performance?
Well, Grant, as I said earlier, we can use the power settings 1 to 3, and as I said, if there's mineralized ground, XP recommends you use a lower power setting. But there's an easier way to detune your probe on the fly. Now this is a non-ferrous target, Mi6 on, and when you're trying to locate it in the ground, it is a massive target. You need to shrink this down a little bit. So all you do is when it's sounding off, just press the on-off button quickly once, and it shrinks the target. And this is what you can do on mineralized ground. If you put the probe into the ground and it sounds off, just press the on-off button quickly once and it detunes it. You can do this several times. Let's demonstrate. Detune it, detune it. It's made it a very, very small target now. If you keep pressing the detune button, the target will eventually disappear. And once you turn the Mi6 off and on again, it'll revert to factory defaults. So that's a good little tip about detuning your Mi6.
Gary, again, thank you so much for talking to us today and for your expert tips on this masterclass for the Mi6. If anyone has any suggestions or requests for future videos like this, please comment below. We'll take a look, and most likely we'll get something in the can and get it out published to you. Thanks so much for your support of XP Team USA and XP Metal Detectors. Good luck and happy hunting.
Thank you, Grant. It's absolutely wonderful talking to you again, and thanks very much for your questions. I hope it's been of help to some of you guys out there, because I know the MI6 has got a lot of functions, so it takes a little bit of learning. But my tip on learning the MI6 has to be repetition. Just sit down there and just go through the functions time and time again until they become second nature. And it really isn't that difficult. As I said before, I don't have to make any adjustments to my MI6 because I use it out of the box. But thanks for watching. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to XP Team USA. They're doing a great job. And I'll see you on the next video.